You're talking about a young man in his 20s. We'd all go stupid.
Not mature yet.
We'd all go
I'm saying Nas never. Well, just to finish my point off, Nas never really. He's been more of a millionaire than he's more of his life than he hasn't. So what I'm trying to say is,
I think at this stage now, you'd learn. And so again, these are the things I thought about, and I'm thinking, I struggled with. Now, I tell me if I'm got it wrong biblically. David and Goliath. David was a sheep herder.
Yeah.
Benson and Hedges cigarettes for 52 pence.
Sell them.
Yeah. So it's 52 pence. And so because I didn't smoke, I didn't really hide them. They were in my pocket. But I always knew the smokers at the first break or the second break after dinner, they'd be catching a cigarette 10 pence each. So that's when I turn up, boom. Sell them 10 pence each, these cigarettes. Sell them 10 pence each. And I did it all the time. And so I'm walking down the corridor, Mr. Lawrence looked at me and said, Nelson, come here. Yes, sir. What's that in your pocket? And I thought, oh, damn, because I didn't smoke, I didn't hide it. And I went, the cigarette, sir? He said, I'm disappointed. I went, sir, I don't smoke. And he went, go on. I said, well, I'm doing you a favour. Because you know everybody climbs through the woods and goes to the chop across the road, and they could get knocked over. So I'm actually doing you a favour and actually selling them to you. And he laughed like, he went, very good, give me the cigarettes inside. Blah, blah, I got the slipper through the best, but he laughed. But he's just getting a hustle on.
But you've been a born hustler.
But he's getting a hustle on, but what I'm saying is Brendan, so you understand the things that Brendan did to us, he taught us how to be young adults, be people, to think, to use our intelligence, our brain. And that's why there's so many stories we could all tell about
We'd be
Brendan.
all day.
Yeah, we'd be all day. And people don't understand.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's why
it hurt.
That frustrated me, because he didn't convey the Brendan. I knew, so like, first thing Brendan, when I met Brendan 4 weeks, I had problems with my parents. I had to kick me out, I ended up homeless. And Brendan was frustrated. He's like, I don't have anywhere to live. And the first person said to me, he says, John, I'm going to get you somewhere to live, which he did, right? But I'm only 16, so I'm going to move from Leeds. And he's going to move into one of the homes of the fighters. So, but I need you to do this. I need you to survive. You're going to get a brick. You're going to find a shop. I want you to put the brick through the shop window and don't run off. Let the police come, arrest you. You'll have someone warm. You'll have someone to... Oh gosh! And I said, I'm scared of the police. He goes, you're young. You won't go to prison. Just put the brick through. Then you know you've got through, and then that gives me time to use it. Did
you do it?
Then I stayed on my friend's couch for like 2 weeks, but he did find me somewhere to stay. But that's what I'm saying.
Unorthodox. I'm saying unorthodox thinking. And people. So the way he trained fighters in the gym, you know. When all the trainers came in, they'd like mock and say, oh my God, you're going to the Ingle gym, you learn to walk backward first. He was so unorthodox in his thinking, but I know envied by most of the trainers because of the success he had in the gym.
Madness.
Yeah, and so that's why, so the film kind of made out as though it just started with Nas, it didn't. It started Benny, I'm older than Nas, so I was there when Brian Anderson was there, Harold Graham was there. I was the back end of people.
How old is Harold?
So Harold's 7 years older than me. So Harold...
But in the movie they call him Harold.
I know.
I clicked on that.
So you saw there was two outstanding fighters that thought they could do it themselves. And you'd think... I understood Brendan's frustration, because he's thinking, if I've taught you all the lessons and told you all the mistakes of this done, and you're still making the same mistake again, there's nothing more I can say to you.
How I did with Brendan ended up like there. When Brendan feels like you're just not going to get on, he can do that.
Yeah. But I understand that.
He did that, yeah. And I look back on it now, I get it now. At the time, I didn't get it, which we'll get to. But I want to say something to you, because I want your opinion on it. It's probably something I should do off camera, but I think it'll be all right on camera, right? When I look back on the situation now, and I'm just going to say it in my way. You don't have to say, oh, just tell me what you think about what I say, right? Nas turned pro at 17. All right, this is just seeing it from the other side, right? Nas turned pro at 17. By the age of 19, he's European champion, correct?
Correct, yeah.
He's been, how much longer after that was he a billionaire? Before 20?
Millionaire.
A millionaire, I'd say 21.
Not long after, right?
Yeah.
So I always say about Premiership football players like Rashford and players like that, I always say when they're acting like divas, and Sancho, they're acting like divas. They don't how normal people work. They go to work at Sainsbury's, the bosses trouble them for no reason, all and only on £12 an hour. Take that diva attitude, let them stack shelves for the day, and then they'll go back and just let the manager just talk to them the way they're going to talk to them, because you get £300,000 a week, and then some of them carry on like divas. Like, if they knew how the rest of us lived, we're not like divas.
John, you say I understand. You're talking about a young man in his 20s. We don't go stupid.
not mature yet.
That's what
We
I'm
don't
saying,
go. We don't go
saying
stupid.
Nas never. Well, just to finish my point off, Nas never really. He's been more of a millionaire than more of his life than he hasn't. So what I'm trying to say is the way he.
So you'd think at this stage you'd have learned from the experience in life to be wise, because on this earth he's been richer longer than he has poorer.
Yeah.
So he's been on this earth. He's been richer for longer than he's been poor. So you'd think at this stage now you'd learn. And so again, these are the things I thought about, and I'm thinking I struggled with. Now, I tell me if I've got it wrong biblically. David and Goliath. David was a sheep herder.
Yeah.
He killed Goliath.
Yeah.
David was an amazing warrior after that. Became
The super king.
super king, the king. David eventually, so remember that young man at that time, everybody would, oh my God, David, the fame, the fortune, the attention, he's a young man, that's life, And then David has a daughter, marries Saul. Yeah? And David puts a price on Saul's head to take him out. And you think, David, after everything you've been through in your life, the experiences you've been through, you still do, what were you doing?
We're still making the same mistakes.
Yeah, you're making a mistake there. Now, God forgave David eventually, but he was still making the same mistakes years after that time. What I'm saying is fame and fortune, as Brendan says, are a twinkle in the eye. And it's a case of how you deal with the wisdom, the experiences, and what you take from them. And it took David quite a while. We all know the story of David and Goliath and think, oh my God, this is amazing. Then people don't know the story about David was trying to behead his son-in-law. So people don't know the story. So what I'm saying is, we're all human. We're all affected in certain ways. It's just how we deal with the experience, how we deal with the wisdom from the experience. And so at this stage now in our lives, Naz's as well, to make those mistakes now, I'm like, oh, come on. And I understand Brendan when he cuts off, because he's thinking, I can't help you anymore. I've told you this, I've told you that, I've shown you examples, I've shown you what it doesn't work, I've shown you what it looks like, I've shown you everything. I've given you the keys to the kingdom, and if you're still going to keep losing them,
I can't help you no more.
I can't help you. So that's why I understand him saying, I'm out.
I agree with you. When I think back on it now, because I'm an older man, I'm nearly 50, when I think back on how I needed between me and Brendan and the things that I went through, Brendan was right. But at the time, when he was coming in the gym, and I always want to clear this up, because I've heard many people talk about this comment this week about, did he really say to Nas when he was 11 that about the percentages and the handshake and what you see in the movie? Brendan said a lot of things tongue in cheek, but he was teaching as well. When they stop you and say, sing us a song, red and yellow, and then he turn around and they do the maths and this, that and the other. But what Brendan had understood is the boxing game's dirty. So, the prostitute comment that he used to make all the time. And I've learned in boxing that you have to make things very clear from the start of conversations. People need to understand it from the start.
Well, let's look at it this way. To be a boxing trainer on 10%, you was on 10%.
Yeah.
And so the average wage, weekly wage is what? Yearly wage, let's say 40 grand.
Yeah.
So if you've got a fighter, that fighter's got to earn £400,000 for you to get the annual wage of 40 grand.
It's mad, isn't it?
Right, £400,000. And people that don't understand, there's not many fighters that earn that kind of money. The ones at the top, they earn, but usually it's like they might earn 10 or, if they're lucky, 15, 20 grand a year, something like that. So most fighters, you're getting a couple hundred £100. But that's when they start earning. But then at the times when they're not earning and they're amateurs, not getting a penny, you're working for nothing. So how are you going to live and feed yourself and give the time and commitment to all the fighters that are there? and because you got to get paid.
Yeah.
So that's one. Number two,
Yeah.
we've all done that wish list. You know, when Euro Millions come on, boy, if I won the lottery, I'd buy this island and I'd go on this holiday, and we all do it. So when Brendan gave us the dream. And the inspiration is say, you know what, you're going to earn this, you're going to earn. He wanted us to think big.
Yeah.
He wanted us to think like, yeah, my God, I can do that. Nas got the same story, got the same line.
Yeah, he did.
Brendan never got, and this is what people need to remember, he never got 10 million. He never had 10 million. This is, what you do is you inspire people to think, I'm a king, I'm a God, I'm a bad man, I can do this. And so the way that was twisted, in the way the story was told, that bothered me.
It bothered me too, because he'd say things tongue in cheek when he was making them comments in the gym, and he'd pull you up and he's talking to you and
Parables,
he's joking. It's parables. You know, like in the Bible, he's speaking parables. He's speaking with parables, and some of them parables I use every day. I use the same parables, but Brendan uses every day. Like human nature will never change.
Give us one. Give us one.
There's so many. There's just so many that you use that you just find yourself saying.
Well, you look up on that wall there.
Wow.
Right, look what they say. These are Brendan's.
Play the fool
To catch the wise. Brendan.
That's old school.
That's Brendan. You know, there's one there. Everyone wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die.
Well, that is when that film, innit?
Yeah, you understand? So what I'm saying is, there's I've got one or two things up there that Brendan wrote. So those parables, this is what he did. You know, this is how you run with it. That's how and people just don't see.
You know that one you use all the time? Does that come from Brendan? There's your truth, my truth, and the truth.
And the truth.
Yeah, is that yours or
that's mine?
Is that yours?
That's mine. But what I'm saying is, that is how it is. But that's only because Brendan's taught us how to think.
Yeah.
He's taught you how to think, and he thinks common sense. That we as humans, unfortunately, we overcomplicate so many things and make life harder for ourselves. And life don't have to be that way. So you got some people that are pretty laid back, and you know they just think, come see. Some people that are really intense. And the ones that are intense is because they overthink it, overcalculate, over busy in their brain.
I'll give you one. Empty vessel makes the most noise.
See it there?
See it there.
You know what I mean? So so when you start, I tell you, it's very good. Reminding of Brendan, John Buster Keaton.
And you can say Buster. He does it well. He does it brilliantly.
And you think, oh my God, I forgot Brendan used to say that. Oh my God, there's no Brendans around. So Brendan wasn't just a coach.
He was a community worker.
He was a community worker. He was a psychologist.
I've got him on the phone, Buskeen doing one at the dinner.
I've got him. And Buster's got him off to a team. So all the people that knew Brendan, when they see the image that's displayed of Brendan, they of course are going to be frustrated. You know, with the film, you know, but it was a good film. But because it was hard to get the magic out of the screen into the cinema. But Brendan, again, I'll be loyal to him till the day I die. Because, and you know what, there in heaven, I'll say, yeah, good heaven.
I could still respect everything that Nas has done, but the reason I brought up the way I did today is because I'm compassionate and I've got empathy for people. I can see that a kid at 17, right, who's not really had time to fully mature. By 19, he's got the world at his feet. By 21, he's a millionaire. And then he's got all these things going on, and he's got people in his ears. He's got the media, he's got the fans, he's got his brothers, he's got all these things going on. And he's trying to, you know, like I say about Mike Tyson, it's like Jim Carrey in the Truman Show. We're making our mistakes in private, but they're making all the mistakes in public. Everything's being sent publicly, and everyone's cause and reaction. Pride gets involved, ego gets involved. But like what you were trying to say, what I liked is you find God, ego should go out of the way, and it should just get to a stage where you're at peace with everything.
That's the frustrating thing, because I still see that little twinkle in that loving young man's eyes. Man's eyes.
Because I've met the Nas off camera.
Right.
And if Nas sees this, I remember that Nas. I remember, you might not remember this, but this is what Brendan means. Brendan liked this in me, though. I was a bit of an entrepreneur. So I'm in the gym training, and then I'm signing on, and then they're trying to get me to go to work. And then I'm saying to Brendan, I can't come to training anymore. Because he's like, no, you're on track. You've got to find a way. I said, well, Brendan, they put me in a scheme called the New Deal scheme. And they're saying to me, if you be my boss, they'll pay you to let me
I
clean
remember
the gym.
that. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
That was me.
I remember that.
You remember that was me?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
Brendan
You
looked
have to come in sometimes.
Yeah.
The gym would be empty. Be like, I'm
That was me.
working. So you go to the gym. I
That was
remember
me.
that.
So now you remember me.
Oh God, I remember now.
That
I
was,
remember
that
now.
was me. So
yeah.
so Naz was like, why he's in the gym? Because Naz was training private, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But I had to be there. So Naz was like, what's he being here for? I says, well, I pay him. So I built this relationship with Naz in a short period of time, and then me and Naz were in the gym alone. And we talk about God. I was Christian, finding God, he's found his life. And we talk, and I know that Naz off camera. That's the Naz I remember. So when I see him, Brendan being attacked, and I see Naz being attacked, it frustrates me a little bit because it's like people are different off camera, but on camera the alter ego comes out. But I'd like Naz to just come out a little bit more of himself. Put that.
So maybe, just maybe, some people, as I said, when I was young, I was very shy, and you express it in certain ways. Junior Witter, he didn't really talk much to people, and
So they thought he was ignorant.
So they thought he was, and maybe Naz is the way he is because he's uncomfortable. So he becomes louder, he becomes extrovert, he becomes what? I don't know, but I do think that at our age now, especially when you become a father and a husband.
Do you think this is why he don't do too much TV though?
Yeah, probably.
Because he could be more of himself off camera.
Probably. And so I think sometimes your mouth runs away with itself, and I think that's kind of what's happened. I think man's mouth's run away with itself.
Yeah.
And his ego probably not want to admit that.
I think he's humbled himself now.
No, I did too. I did.
It's the comedy, don't like.
I did, but not enough to avoid the backlash that's coming now. And it's backlash, and it's to nobody else's fault but his own. You know, his words, his out of his mouth. And so we that know him, it's probably it's frustrating.
You still got my Roy Jones tapes.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Let me tell you.
Go on. In fact, go on.
Carl Froch and Anthony Joshua. Yeah. So when Carl Froch and Anthony Joshua are having this public spat, oh my God, can you believe me what Carl Froch said about Anthony Joshua? And Anthony Joshua's blah, 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 I've sent a picture. And we're all like, but them two, they know each other from the gym. So it's no big deal to them, but it's a big deal to everybody else.
Yeah.
So in our gym, when we're all growing up together, and we know Naz, and obviously he's become the most famous out of everybody in the gym, we still know that side, that we will run them jokes and we'll say certain things, and people be like making a bigger deal of it than what it actually is. The problem is when you start listening to those people that don't know better, that's when there's conflict and trouble. You know, I think Carl and AJ, they'll still have a little laugh and joke back and forth. But I think Naz, it got to a point where it shows, I don't want you to chat to me like that whilst them people are there.
Yeah, some things should be private.
Yeah, but the thing is, it works. You know, you don't. That's make believe. This is real, and I think that's just my opinion.
What you do really well though, compared to most people, and I'll say this while he's here as well, off camera and on camera, you're quite similar. Some people on camera and off camera are totally different.
Is that
makes sense?
Yeah.
We interview all the fighters.
Yeah.
So there's some guys on camera. In fact, there's some unusual situations, like I won't name names. Certain individual I can think in mind, on camera we look like we're close. As soon as the camera goes off, they don't know what to do with us. We look like we're friends on camera.
Really?
Right? And then we've got other people where off camera they're more friendly, but then as soon as the camera comes on, at the interviews crap because they feel so comfortable with us, they never give us out. They never give us not a clickbait comment, but never use that comment that would go viral. Yeah. Because they're too comfortable with us. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Is that to do with your upbringing with Brendan? You know, because before obviously you never made the money, so Brendan at that time to put into you how to be, life skills, everything, and then
I think
when you start getting it.
I think it's a couple of things. So I've never been an aggressive person. I can fight.
I remember you.
I can fight, but I would happily try and diffuse a situation than ignite it. And I've always been like that from being a young kid. And so meeting Brendan was
That's
like...
emotional intellect, though.
Yeah,
You can see
but
it's
yeah,
big
yeah. So,
forward.
but then meeting Brendan, I'm like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
And it works for our boxing game because remember, you come in our gym and the language is industrial, man. You know, you black this, you backy this, you white boy this.
Imagine now,
right.
now.
So everybody getting hammered, you know, racially hammered. And when people come in, they're like, oh my God, have you had it talking in the gym? And Brendan would toughen you up, and he'd encourage it because he said, when you come out of here and you go to a show, and they shouting you black X, Y, Z, and you can't stand and say, oh, you can't say that to me, get upset. You've got to make it go straight over your head and deal with it, keep calm.
Would he be all right now?
Would
Brendan be all right now?
Yeah, Brendan would get cancelled now, right? So, and people, I can remember people coming in saying, oh my God, can you how they're talking to each other. I remember going up to Bolsover to box Ian Bullock.
Yeah.
I was doing a press conference to box Ian Bullock in Local Boy. It was a British title.
Yeah.
And when I boxed Ian in the amateurs, they were all shouting, what do you mean? In Chesterfield, I boxed him in the amateurs in Chesterfield. What do you mean he's got a spear down his trunk, you black bastard?
Gee.
We're fighting. We're fighting. But these things now, you're shaking that thing, oh my God, I'm used to shit in the gym, man.
Yeah.
Because we have a bit of banter with it.
Yeah.
When we had the press conference when we turned professional, went up there to Bolsover, to Working Men's Club, Brendan said, get yourself dressed up. I want you to go by yourself. I'm like, what? Ben, you know what they did in the amateurs? He said, go by yourself, Johnny. He said, they'll think that I ain't got no confidence in you, you can't do this. You're going to knock this kid out, I'm British champion. We drove up to Bolsover, drove up to where the press conference was, I had a long coat on. I look cool, man.
I think I remember.
Shirt and tie, got out the sponsored car, they all stood outside there. Just so as I walked in, you know, like, you know, and the man just moved like that, and I got inside, and as I'm walking, black cunt, getting all this shit, and I'm like, I'm by myself. And I walked inside, sat down, and they said, Ingle's not even here for you. He knows that you're going to get 10 so I was getting so much racial abuse. But if I didn't know how to handle it, I'd have been beaten then.
Mentally,
I was trained. Brendan trained us how to deal with it. So when he made us get used to that industrial language, right now people are thinking, oh my God, I can't believe Nelson's used a seed word. He said the X word. Brendan encouraged us to do that within the gym. So we'd fight like a dysfunctional family in the gym, but we travel like a pack of wolves outside of it. And then when man's shouting stuff, I've had racial abuse from England to New Zealand to Melbourne, Australia, everywhere, and they've shouted abusive, Brazil, everywhere they shouted abusive things to me. And I just smile, and when they smile, that's a bit of comfort actually. Because I thought, if you think that's going to get to me, you know, I got this down. And so Brendan's teaching was so unorthodox. You know, there was a guy called Ninja. His name was Graham Burton. We called him Ninja. From Chesterfield, proper D-da, proper Yorkshire lad. And he could fight. He was probably just below British championship level. And he used to move with all of us. This poor Naz's town, it was me, him, Harold Graham, Brian Anderson. And after we leave the gym, we go up to Pitsmore and get some Thai food, some West Indian food. So Ninja's feeling cool because he's with all the black crew there, and so he's watching us. And so we're putting hot pepper on our food and everything. And Ninja's like, and you can see him sweating, thinking shit. And so, but then his mistake was that, and one time we were out, he took the language in the gym out on the street.
Oh, dog.
And we were eating some food, and he said something. I can't remember what word. I can't.
Blood something.
Yeah. Some like blood clot. He said, "Yo, you black people." And I looked at him. Ninja, stop. You can't get away with that shit. You don't do that. And so, and he forgot his way. And he felt as he thought he defended me. I was saving him, saying, "Yo, you'll get yourself killed." You know, but you've got to understand the reason why Brendan's teaching is this in the gym, so we can take it outside the gym, and handle it without reacting in a violent way. But so his teachings were. We could tell stories forever and a day about Brendan's teachings.
We could be here all day.
Yeah, and to me, and that this film has got us talking about who Brendan is. Forget about the Nas stuff. That's done. That's how it is, and he's gonna have to deal with that. And I get it. And I know the boy, so he's gonna have to deal with it somehow. I don't know how we'll turn this thing around. I don't know what he'll do, but he's a big ass man now. He's got a wife. He's got kids. He's gonna figure this out. I'm happy to talk about Brendan, about how this man taught us, and so people understand. I get it. I get that. I get why Johnny Nelson might end up being world champion. I get why. I get it. I get all these things here. I get why Nas did what he did. I get why Harold Graham did what he did. And then you're looking at the brilliance of Brendan. And that to me was the most
The
important.
reason you are this, there's going to be other people from the Ingles fighters watching this for sure. I mean, and some of us have done really well in different areas. So the reason that you are the success story, I'm going to tell you why I believe you're the success story. You finished the race with him. There's some of us who started the race with him, but ended with that, because he quite stubborn, Brendan.
Yeah.
At the end. Didn't finish the race with him.
Yeah.
You went finished it. None of them. Oh, Ryan left. Dave Caldwell left.
That's what I'm saying. I've seen them all come and go.
Yeah, that's when Dave
And-
Caldwell
and,
left.
and now they're all older.
Maybe
They all-
Junior stayed. to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end.
that Junior did, and then I felt really sorry for Junior. Because at the back end of Brendan's life, when dementia kicked in, Junior was at the sour end of the stick, and Brendan really gave him some stick. But Brendan was ill.
I know.
You know, Brendan was ill, and I felt for Junior. Junior understood that. God bless him. Junior understood that, and he didn't take it to heart.
Yeah.
Now I can remember coming home at night time and thinking, God, it'd break my heart if Brendan spoke to me like that. Yeah, I kept dreaming of Brendan kicking me out of the gym, and I'd wake up like panicking. So
went through that as well.
I'll tell you after. Carry on.
Yeah. So Junior. So to me, to finish the race with Brendan from start to beginning to end, it was important. So when I saw people come and jump out halfway through, I'm like, you're going to regret that. And to this day now, almost every single one of them regret not finishing the race.
But I didn't. You saw when, because I was getting close to Naz.
Yeah.
And they fell out. One day I come in for the training. This is how it ended. I've never really talked about it, but I don't mind talking about it because it's the past anyway. And then Brendan invited me up to the side of the ring. And I said, how you doing, Brendan? He goes, you got to go now. I said, what do you mean? He says, I don't know if you're on his side or my side, so I'm clearing people out that I think they're on his side. Leave.
And that, you know what? That would have broke my heart.
Broke my heart.
That would have
I was crying.
Yeah, that would have.
I was crying. I said, no, please. I said, I'm with you, Ben. He said, no, you got to go.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not with him. I respect both. He's not. Go.
The thing with Brendan,
And then I
knows
spent.
stuff
Then I was living with Junior and Isham for a year, doing nothing. Then I started going across to spar with Ricky, go over to train with Ricky Hatton. I didn't really find a place with Billy Graham because it's a totally different style.
Yeah.
And then I ended up coming back to Sheffield because I was still living in Sheffield. I ended up with Howard Rainey. Do you understand what I mean? And it did break my heart. And there's other people who can tell that story.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I actually thought, and that would have been my worst nightmare. It would have absolutely broken my heart, And so I feel for you all that happened to. But I think at the time when Brendan and Naz split up the first time, and Naz was saying really bad things, and I can remember being at a press conference or something, and I was with Naz somewhere, and he was saying this stuff down the camera, and I was there, and I'm like, nah, man. And so I found that I had to not be around when this was done, because if me stood there is endorsing what you're saying. And so this is what triggered me this last weekend. It's what triggered me. I'm like, you know what? I'm saying, because it triggered me. And so this is why, and I'm the kickback from it is how it is. But it triggered me because I thought that shit ain't happening again.
Well, that's partially why I didn't go pro. Because I'd signed with Brendan and I was going to go pro. And then that happened, and I went, and there's a lot of other things happened after that.
It's like when my last fight, when I had my last fight. Oh, sorry. Okay. My last fight, and I came back. I was training in Manchester then. I came back to the gym, and I was training. I signed up with John another 3 years, and then Brendan came up to me and said, "What are you doing here?" He embarrassed me in front of everybody. Get out! I went, Brendan, calm down. He was Polish. I didn't know. And he said, get out of the gym. I said, no, Brendan, I'm signed with John. I've just signed the paper today. John, did he sign the paper? I said, yes, he did. All right, okay, left me.
He was ill. That's on the back end of his life. The back end of his life, he was ill, and so it got to a point where you say to people, "Look, just don't take what he says to you personal because he's ill." And because Brendan was such a proud, smart fella, you didn't want people to look at him wrong and look, Brendan's ill, so you might say something, just don't take it personal.
And that was something we'd never do usually.
Yeah, and that's why he wouldn't do that. He's a good man, and that's why. And I always panicked. I always panicked that he'd do that to me one day because. And I kept having dreams about it. I'd wake up and I'm done.
Shouting at me, man. He was loud. He was shouting from the middle there. Everybody.
I saw him to Junior once, but he was ill. But so that's not that wasn't. We're talking about the Brendan that we knew, the powerful influencer that was an amazing man. And unfortunately, God took what that true wealth away from him. His thought process, you know, and what was good about him.
Because he was always active, wasn't he? He was just not full on.
Yeah.
Listen, you can see we'll talk all day long
passionate,
about this.
man.
Like, I don't know how long we talked. We could go on all day. I could tell stories, so we will talk again. But I just want to finish it on one last thing. If you hadn't met Brendan Ingle, where would you be in life?
Prison.
There you go.
I would be a prisoner salesman. But I don't know, because he brought me out of my shell. He was the first one was the interview about the job, tell you about the job. Second one was the to more or less say, okay, we're trying to make our mind up. The third one, they were going to offer you the contract. Back then, you got a car, BMW. You started on 30 bags a year. £30,000 back then, plus commission.
Good money, that.
And I read somewhere that salesmen were in the top highest earners in Europe. And I'm like, damn. So I passed the first interview, got the second interview, called me back for a third interview in Birmingham, thinking, if I go down for this interview, they're going to give me the job.
Yeah.
And if they give me the job, it means I can't train.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I didn't turn up. I didn't go.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I'd not done anything. But I just thought, for some reason, there was something saying, don't join Johnny, I've got a different path to you. I'd not done anything.
Yeah.
And there was no promise of becoming a champion. But I just thought, if I do that...
It's a magical time, though.
Yeah. If I do that, it means I can't train. And I was putting all my eggs in the basket that had holes in.
Yeah.
But I just thought, no. Genius, Brendan, complete genius.
It's crazy because we go in and out of gyms, we interview all the fighters, as you guys know. Trust me, like, there's no gym in England anywhere near close to
The try.
Not even 10%. Like, the champions are in the gym. I remember sparring, and you got Neville Brown, you turn around, it's Johnny Nelson, you turn around, it's Ryan Rhodes, you turn around, it's John Fax, you turn around, it's Pelly V, you turn around...
I tell you, he's doing a good job. Manchester.
So many. Gallagher.
Yeah.
But not the numbers, though. Not the numbers that we had, though.
Oh, no, not at all.
He's just taking it off, carrying on with Phil Martin.
Yeah, that's what Phil Martin was very much like Brendan in the area. Gallagher's doing the same with him trying to do the same with Manchester. It's hard, but Brendan was a one-off.
I know.
Rough diamond, man.
It's the system.
Yeah.
The system, you know, people come in.
Brendan knew how to work the system,
and they knew what to do. You knew what to do. You know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, and character building, and man management, how he treat everyone and get a different reaction at different people. You don't see that.
He would.
Yeah, it's madness. Listen, we've got to end it, man. We just got to end it. Listen,
you could cut this up. You could do about 50.
Yeah, we could do about 50 this. If you like the vibe, don't forget to subscribe.
Boom.